You know, some numbers, they look completely ordinary on the surface, but if you know the secret handshake, you'll find they're hiding a whole other identity. Today, we're going to go on a mathematical hunt for what are called hidden beast numbers. All right, let's just jump right in with a challenge. Take a good look at this number, 998,515. I mean, it seems pretty random, doesn't it? But trust me, lurking inside is one of the most famous or infamous numbers in history. So how on earth do we find it? Well, our first key to unlocking these secrets is to break a number down to its absolute core. We're talking about its prime factors, the fundamental building blocks of every single number. It's kind of like taking something apart to see what it's really made of. And here is how ridiculously simple it is. We start with our big number, 998,515. Next, we find its prime factors, 5, 7, 47, and 607. And now for the big reveal, you just add them up. And there it is, 606, hiding in plain sight the whole time. This quote from the source material just nails it, right? The three sixes are not so obvious. This isn't about finding a number that already has 666 in it. No, the beast is way more covert than that, and it's only revealed through this little mathematical trick. So, for our next step, we've got to talk about a concept called multiplicity. It sounds fancy, but it's really just a way of asking, how many times does the same prime factor show up? Like in the number 12, the factor 2 appears twice, so its multiplicity is 2. Super simple, but as you're about to see, this little detail changes everything. And this slide just illustrates perfectly why that matters so much. Check out the number 11,898. If we add all its prime factors, including that repeated 3, we land on 669. Okay, close. But now what if we just change the rule a tiny bit and only add the unique factors? That second 3 gets ignored, and boom, we get 666. By tweaking one small rule, we've just uncovered a whole new list of these hidden beast numbers. Okay, so we've seen how to find the beast by basically deconstructing numbers. But what if the secret isn't in a number's parts at all, but in the very language it's written in? This, my friends, is where it gets really mind-bending. Our second method is something called base shifting. And with this technique, we're not breaking the number down anymore. Nope. We are changing the way we see it completely. Now, you and I, we use base 10 every day. That's the one with 10 digits, 0 through 9, but there are tons of other systems or bases. The best way to think about it is like this. The value of a number always stays the same, but we're just writing it down using a totally different alphabet. And it turns out that in the base 8 system, which only uses the digits 0 through 7, some very ordinary-looking numbers start to show let's say, a very familiar pattern. Just take a look at this. The number 438 in our everyday base 10 system. Well, when you write it in base 8, it literally becomes 666. And the number 3,504 becomes 6660. The pattern is suddenly right there, clear as day, just by shifting our perspective. Now, these examples are cool, for sure, but they're just kind of isolated cases. The source material points to something even more amazing. A dense, practically unbroken sequence of numbers that all contain the beast. This is what they call a formidable run. Get this. Starting with 28,032, nearly every single number up to 28,095, when you convert it to base 8, has the sequence 666 in it. I mean, look at how packed that is. It goes from 66600 all the way to 66677. It's an entire chain of the beast number, one after another. And the absolute peak of this incredible run, the number 28,086. When you shift this one to base 8, it doesn't just contain the beast number. It becomes 66666. Wow, that is just a spectacular find. So you might be thinking, okay, that's just a weird quirk of the base 8 system, right? Not at all. It turns out this whole phenomenon is part of a much bigger, much more universal pattern. And as you can see, this is not just a base 8 thing. Look here. A number in base 10 reveals 666 when you write it in base 7. Another one does the same thing in base 9. This isn't some random fluke. It's a fundamental property of how numbers relate to each other across all these different systems. So what's the big picture here? It's that numbers are just full of these hidden structures. We can find them by adding up prime factors, sometimes with multiplicity, sometimes without. Or we can find them just by changing our point of view and looking at numbers in a different base. And maybe the most important part, these aren't just one-off oddities. They can show up in these absolutely incredible, dense runs. And that really brings us to a final thought, one to kind of chew on. We've just scratched the surface here, looking for one very specific pattern. But if a number like the number of the beast can be found hiding in so many clever ways, it just makes you wonder, right? What other profound, beautiful, or even strange mathematical secrets are still out there, just waiting for us to find the right key?